Alright, welcome. This is something a little different here. Thought I got some windshield time here, so thought I'd just go live and we can just chat about anything. I guess I was going to kind of talk about restoration tips and tricks and things, but didn't have anything in particular. Leave a comment, hop in the chat. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Leave a like if you want to see more, but just have some windshield time here, so I thought I'd chat, just kind of a Q&A. Ask me kind of anything. I'll try to answer it best I can, but I got a few topics on my mind that that I can chat about. But there's no links in the description yet, but I'll update that later. But I got some merchandise, t-shirts and whatnot, hats and stickers and things, so please feel free to check out the merch store. It's at Teespring, and should be a merchandise shelf underneath this video. But anyway, got somebody in here. What we got? Just caught you on my way out the door. I'll have to watch later. Well, I don't know if I'm going to leave this archive up or not, so you better be watching or hop in right now. But maybe I'll leave it unlisted or something, because this won't be a high quality video or stream, because doing it on my phone, I don't have a proper mount for it. You're just sitting in like my cup holder, and hopefully the audio is not too bad, just because you know, it is kind of loud, road noise and whatnot. Guess a little bit of vitals on the vehicle here. We're running a little over 45 pounds of oil pressure. Battery's good, charging about 14 volts. We're running right nice where it should be, about 190 degrees, and engine's turning about 1700 RPMs, about 65 mile an hour here. So yes, I was on earlier. I don't normally live stream from my phone, so I've only done it once or twice, and I didn't realize you have to be in like landscape mode for this thing to work. But yeah, just set it right here, and I'll keep my eye on the road and everything, and we'll just fine. But then I had a little connection issue, so yep, that's why. So we're back. I'm live. Feel free to pop in the chat, ask me something. But I was gonna start talking about restorations in general, not just motorcycles, but objects, toys, and other things. I've been kind of noticing, I've been doing restoration videos and things to a certain extent on YouTube, well, on the internet I should say, for many years, documenting some of them I'm not. Put my sunglasses back on here, it's a little bright out. So hopefully you can see and hear good enough. But anyway, I've been sharing them on my website and things of that nature. So and I've been noticing some more channels popping up with restorations and of just different objects, not just toys and stuff. Hey, sorry, I missed your comment there. Type it again. It only pops up on my screen for a amount of time here. So, and if I can't see it quick enough, I can't catch it. So if you comment that again, I don't know who you were. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. It might be a little laggy. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's just the internet connection and the phone. So can't do much about that. But anyway, I've been seeing these other restoration channels that are restoring all kinds of things pop up, and they're getting crazy amounts of views, much more than I am, and more power to them. I'm not jealous or nothing. I'm actually excited to see them. I watch most, if not all of them. I mean, I probably haven't seen all of them, but there's some good work out there, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say is, you know, I'm hoping that some of them, some of those channels, maybe I partly inspired, but I can't take credit for that. But you know, it's fun to see what other people are doing and how they're doing it. You know, I do notice something about the way they put their videos together. You know, they're no commentary, no sound. The editing's usually pretty good, you know. And not a criticism, it's just different. I'm just wondering, maybe some of you guys are watching, what do you think about that? I mean, yeah, my videos have come a long way, but I got a long way to go too. Mine aren't perfect, I know that, and I try to improve, and I take criticism and try to improve. I prefer to have some sort of commentary, because it seems like I get a lot of comments when I don't say what I'm doing. I mean, I may show it, but I don't say what I'm doing, and people, or I'm showing what I'm doing, and people will have maybe a contrary comment, like, well, you could have done it this way and stuff. Well, that's part of the reason why I'm trying to quell some of those comments, but you know, YouTube comments are kind of a dumpster fire at times, depending on the video. My videos aren't. My commenters and viewers and stuff seem to be very good. I get very few negative comments, and the ones I do, they're either just totally like just whatever, profanity and stuff, and also that's the only time I'll generally suppress a profane comment, because I feel that just doesn't add anything. But if it's legit criticism and such, or no profanity, it may be criticism but no profanity, I let it through, definitely. Commentary keeps commentary keeps it interesting. Yeah, I feel the same way, and honestly, most of the videos that I prefer, that are restorations or customizations or something, across the board, I like the ones that kind of commentate along, tell me what to do, whether it's a voiceover or live commentary as they're doing it. I prefer something, and even when there's nothing to comment on, like a time lapse or something, I do prefer some kind of low music and stuff. Otherwise, it just seems kind of, your mind can kind of drift. I mean, that's just me, but I've thought this is a good opportunity to ask my audience, or whoever's watching, which is about 6 people right now. It's not that many, not a very big sample size, I guess, and that's to be expected. Is what do you prefer? Commentary, music, no commentary, completely silent, or just the sounds of whatever, the tools and stuff. And that's what I'm saying. There's some channels out there. One of them, and it escapes me, it's something like Rescue and Restore. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out. It's brand new. I mean, guy gets crazy views on his videos, doesn't say a thing, but it's very well done. His quality of work is good, but also the video editing and things is work. But it's just, you hear the hammer tapping, you hear the whatever, the grinder grinding and whatnot. And it has a certain feel to it. While it's very good, it is a little creepy at times. Well, not creepy as in like, oh my god, I'm not gonna watch this, but it's kind of like you're waiting for the jump scare kind of thing, creepy or whatnot. But it's just a different style. I prefer to voice over my videos. That's how I would want to view the video, and that's what that's what I prefer to do. Oh, thanks, Nuts and Bolts. Oh yeah, check him out. Check his channel out. He's a frequent viewer when I actually do these. And yes, I like doing live streams. I just, balance of life and family and work, well, life slash family, that kind of stuff all comes first. And that's why I would like to do more live streams, but that takes away from some family time. I generally have to do those in the evening and such, which is usually when my type of viewer has time to view them. I'm actually surprised that there's people in here right now watching me, just because it's the middle of the day, and going into a holiday weekend so I wouldn't think there'd be too many people cruising YouTube looking for anything to watch. But yes, I do like the interactivity, because it's a more personal interaction. But even, you know, the recorded video and stuff, and the interaction in the comments is what I like too, because you can kind of continue a conversation. And like I said, the criticism, you know, constructive criticism is welcome on my videos. If you see something I've done and be like, well, you could have done it this way, great, and that's why I watch a lot of other creators and not even just maker. I mean, I watch a lot of maker stuff too, because I consider myself a maker as well. But I also watch stuff that isn't even in the same realm. You know, I'm kind of a closet retro gamer, so I do watch content such like that. I'm interested in kind of keeping up a little bit with technology. I'm not a technophile or by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like to keep up on stuff like that, just interesting ways. But you know what? There's some tech channels I watch, and I'm not really watching for what they're actually talking about. I'm watching how they film their videos, how they engage with their audience, how they connect, because that's what I'm trying to do with my projects, because I want to connect with my audience, not for more views, not necessarily for more views. I mean, that's a goal, of course, subscribers, of course, but it's more to connect, to hopefully inspire a viewer to go out there and try something. Obviously, they're watching they stumbled onto my video because they like something related to what I like. So I'm hoping that inspires them to go out there and do it too. You know, whether it, like, I'm on a kick of these toy restoration stuff, partly because my son is young, he's getting older, he's playing with these kind of toys, he's ready for my old toys that I kept around, these pressed steel toys, mine and honestly my dad's, so his grandpa, so we're getting a third generation of play out of a lot of these items too. And that's part of it. It's all about fixing them up for him, get them back into play, working order, because with some of these toys that were my dad's, he played with them, ran them into the ground. I played with them, ran them into the ground, and now they need a refurb to get them back into at least a playable shape and things. And you know, so that's why a lot of them aren't true restorations, but some are. They're more like maybe resto mods, you could say. But and I know some people, very few. I don't get a lot of comments this way, but I do get a couple, and they're legitimate. I don't know if I'd say I'm criticism, but it's a legitimate viewpoint of, oh, you just wrecked the value of it. Well, when I do a lot of these, there's more sentimental value than monetary value, and I don't really care much about the monetary value. And actually, a lot of them, if you watch my content, you see that there wasn't much value to be had, if any, in some of those. They were so bad. There probably wasn't much value left in them monetarily anyways, so doing this may have slightly increased a monetary value, not to a survivor, obviously. Those are, and I have a couple of those toys that I would consider in survivor condition, so I'm not going to mess with those. I mean, I may spruce up, I mean, obviously clean them up, spruce them up and stuff, but like, I have things that were legitimately broken, like the most recent video, that Ertl International backhoe, the backhoe part, the casting broke, so you couldn't use the backhoe. The toy was only half functional. You could only use the front end loader part. So did that toy really have any real value? Well, in my opinion, very little to none. You know, try to sell it on eBay, what, $10 maybe, something like that. When a boxed version that hasn't been ever removed from the box, okay, $200, but that's to be expected. But even with a well played, with, you know, chipped up but not broken version, you know, maybe $50. Well, mine's busted, so $10, you know. I mean, putting it back into play value adds value, maybe not monetarily, but adds memories, you know. I have the memory and enjoyed repairing it. My son's gonna have good memories of playing with it, and as I did, had good memories of playing with that toy, for example. So that's how I view stuff like that. I don't go out looking for, well, I have acquired a couple things on eBay, kind of almost by accident, and I got one that's coming up, and you'll see, and I'll kind of explain that in the video. Keeping a little secret. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know what it is, but anyway, that's a topic for kind of a different video, and maybe I should talk about that. I mean, if you guys want to chat about that, pop in and say something in the chat, or leave a comment in this video if I leave it up public, and give me your opinion on that, because that's sort of my opinion. Because I'm watching these other restoration channels. I mean, you know, they're doing things, you know, that it's like, well, that's not exactly a restoration, but it is putting it back into better condition than they found it. Like I said, not a knock. They're doing it, but the same kind of deal, that it's lost its true originality. But you know, some people like the patina, and that's the thing, of the item, and that's fine as well. Just with something like a toy, they were built to be played with, and that's what I want to do with them. I want them to get back in the hands of someone that can enjoy it. And in this case, it's my son. And then after he gets done with them, I mean, we'll keep them, and he can pass them on to his son, or he can sell them. He can do whatever he wants after I'm dead. But that's, you know, they weren't, these kind of things, in my opinion, weren't made to be collected. They were made to be played with. And if they no longer function, they deserve to be put back into working order. I think, you know, some people might say with motorcycles, same deal. Some of them should be left a bit unrestored, and I agree in certain situations. But you know, I watch Jay Leno's Garage, of course, and you know what? A lot of his old and even very rare stuff, he's done some upgrades to things that are not exactly original, but they're necessary upgrades, either for safety or reliability or something, so he can enjoy it. And we also says, as an artist and a designer, constructive criticism is always helpful. Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself an artist in a traditional sense, but there is an art to what I do and what other people who do similar things. For example, if you make a video on YouTube, in some respects, you're an artist, because you're creating something from nothing. Something out of your head came out and is now up for the public to see. So, you know, that's pretty cool, and I always like to encourage that. No matter how horrible the video is, as long as it looks like they put out an effort, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. And that's, you know, so the barrier for entry is pretty low. I mean, look, I'm doing it with a cell phone. You can too, and that's what I hope. I hope some of my videos and some of my channels, on my channel, what I'm hoping people get out of it, and I'm hoping I've inspired some of these other channels that I've stumbled across. I inspired them years ago to think, okay, I can do this better, and that's the point of the community of making and restoring, and YouTube to a certain extent, is to make content, you know, and if you can do it, and to always try to improve. So that's what I try to do. But so I appreciate it. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the comments and everything. I read them all, and I darn near respond to them all, even on my website, because I do have a way you can comment, you know, anonymously. All you need is put in an email address, and it can even be a fake email address for that matter. You know, you don't need an account or anything, and I answer. I can't say that I haven't answered any. There's not too many comments that I don't answer. I mean, some of them are just statements, so they don't require an answer. So I guess that might be a different situation. But if it's a comment and question, I respond to them all, and so the community as a whole restoring items. So, you know, I get more positive comments than negative, but I do, like I said, take the criticism ones. I do take them with their due impact and seriously when it's legit, like, hey, you could have done this, or hey, do that. Maybe try that next time. I definitely do that, and that's the thing. That's why I watch other people's stuff, because I get good ideas from other people's videos, either how to shoot them or the techniques housed within them. So that's why I always like to, and I like to give shout outs to channels bigger or smaller than me, because that's how we all can go here. Let's see. I missed your comment on this YouTube live. I can't always catch it real quick. I noticed you're a collector of antique toys, but I didn't catch the second part of your comment. It's hard on this small little screen. Like I said, this is very amateurish here, so forgive me. But I don't collect. That's one thing. Maybe people think maybe I'm a collector of antique toys and things. I mean, I could argue I'm a collector of motorcycles. If you check out my website, you can see not all of my collection, but a good chunk of all the ones I've restored or are in good running condition that I have restored in the past, long before there was an internet to share them on. That's the thing. I've been doing a lot of this since before either the internet existed or the internet as we know it existed. So that goes back a long way. I got video of things on 8mm film and VHS tapes, different formats that analog formats, and it's just so much, and a lot of it is really stuff that isn't conducive for online content, as far as it would just be boring, very boring. But I've made little films, little how-tos, and I've been searching, and I don't know where it is, but I did make a small, very short, I don't know if you want to call it documentary, but kind of a restoration video of tearing apart a Pontiac Fiero. Now, I didn't have it from start to finish. It was just kind of the in-between when had all the body panels off, had the engine, transmission, and cradle, had the interior completely torn out, and we're separate, but needed to put a clutch in it, and rebuilding the engine, doing some little upgrades here and there to it, and then of course painting it and stuff. So I didn't get everything, but I need to go through my archives and see if I can't find that. That'd be one that I'd maybe post over on my second channel, because I posted kind of raw, because that was done. I did it before I had even before I had a computer or anything to do any kind of non-linear editing. So it was done with kind of the 2 VCR method, linear editing, and from source tapes. So it was always a second generation tape. So anyway, that's a lot, getting a little technical for some of you that maybe don't understand that. But I wish I could find that. I know I have a copy of it somewhere. It may be lost, which is too bad, but that's okay. But like I said, I've been doing this a long time. But the toy thing is just, these are toys that I had as a kid, or they were my dad's and things. So I got quite a collection of them, but it's nothing. It's not like I collect specific like Structo or Nyland or Ertl or whatever. It's an everything, and Hot Wheels and stuff. And there's a good number of Hot Wheels and Matchbox kind of restoration and customization channel. And you know, I've done a couple of those, and those are fun. They're fun little videos. I can kind of crank them out real quick. I got a couple ideas for some. But I like to, if I'm going to do that, I want to kind of do something different than what the other ones do. I don't get into the finding red lines and doing all that, because I'm not nostalgic for the red lines, really. And I have tons and tons of my old Hot Wheels, but new, and then bought new ones and stuff like that. But I kind of like the customization, but I like to have a story behind it, a reason I'm going to customize that Matchbox or Hot Wheels car, not just for the sake of doing it. It's kind of like my model building. I got one specific model, project that has been on hold for almost 2 years now because well, a project that I've been thinking about. I don't know whether I should just time-lapse the whole thing because it's a very involved build, so it would have to be a multi-part video. And I guess to do it that way is just on YouTube. Multi-part videos don't, these days, the way YouTube, kind of their algorithm and promote them out, I don't know that they work that well anymore like they kind of used to. So I mean, I'd like your input on that as far as how to film something like that, because this would be a project that would definitely be months long to working here and there. Like if I could just not do anything for a week, I mean literally not do anything, not have to go to my real job, not have to do anything family wise, it would still take probably, this kind of model would probably take like 2 weeks of constant work. You know, I'm talking like 10-hour days kind of thing, because there's going to be a lot of dry time in there too. Okay, your thing is to get them close to mint so that you can, so they're saved for future generations. Yeah, I guess that's what I try to do a little bit. I try to bring them back to near mint condition. But if I see a way to upgrade it a little bit, where certain parts may fail, you know, I'll take the liberty of doing that. And same with, you know, I may customize just a tad. You saw that a little bit with, say, like the Tonka Road Grader. I put my own kind of graphics on it because I kind of thought the stock ones that came with it were a little blah. Even as a kid, I remember not really liking the color combination, and it was kind of a little not that neat, I guess. You know, it was very bare or sparse. So I mean, not that I did any amazing customization work there, but you know, I didn't replicate the graphics exactly, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, I get that. But going back to this, you know, this plastic model, it'll be that I'm going to build, because it's going to be heavily weathered. There's going to be some scratch building or kit bashing involved in it. And again, the reason why I'm doing it, there's a story behind it, so I'm what it is, and I don't want to give much, if anything, away about it, but I'm replicating something in the real world with it. Replicating a memory, honestly, is what it is. It's taking a memory out of my mind and putting it into the physical world. And try making it so you want to watch it. So it's not so boring. I'm thinking a time lapse and a bit of a voiceover might be the way, because there's going to be a lot of little things, a lot of little detail work that just isn't going to come on through camera very easily. And I'm a one-man show. I don't have a cameraman. I mean, my wife helps out at times, but I feel guilty asking her to help with my videos. And while she supports it wholeheartedly, it's kind of like, well, it's not very fun for her, so to be behind the camera. So I don't know, maybe I'll sprinkle in a little bit of that. I do watch occasionally some tested videos. Adam Savage is tested with his one-day build, and I kind of look and see how they filmed that. But like I said, they got a sound guy and a cameraman, and they follow him around, and they sort of have a way, you know, I mean, his videos seem very fluid, but there's obviously, they kind of had a way already figured out how they were going to shoot that well. Where I have to start and stop, I can't just do it in 1 day, 2 day, and spend morning to night doing it. I don't think that kind of will work, but I've gotten some ideas for some edits, because he talks about what he's doing along the way. See, so that's like, well, maybe that would get boring from me, because I'm a nobody, whereas he's a kind of a celebrity, at least a little bit, or people know him, so you're willing to watch through that kind of stuff because you want to connect with someone that's perceived as a celebrity. I'm a nobody. I'm an average Joe. I'm just like you out there. You know, nobody knows me from Adam, which is a good thing. I don't want to be famous or anything. Like I began the stream, I just want to inspire. So I don't care if you recognize me on the street. That's not my goal here. So I'm just trying to get my head around how I would want to film a project such as that, because it would be just such a lengthy project and a multi-part series. Even if I filmed it like my Barn Fresh, I did that by those bikes, I should say. I filmed them and built them ahead of time and then released them. So it wasn't like you weren't seeing it done in real time. The bike was finished when you and that was a little jarring when I first released it on blip.tv. And I had a audience there. Like that platform, because it ran kind of more a little bit like TV. Like it wasn't such a jarring effect. Like people understood. It's like it was released like as a weekly show. But when I put it on YouTube, I think people didn't realize that by the time I could put it on YouTube, the bike had been done for a couple of years. So, and I had to sort of re-edit the videos a little bit. There's technical reasons for that. But anyway, people didn't understand that, you know, they were trying to give me tips like, oh, do this before you. It's like, well, I didn't want to tell them, at least because I released them on a weekly schedule, but people didn't really understand how that was possible. They thought, oh my God, how did you do this in a week? Some of this in a week. And it's like, well, it's done. You know, I did it like TV. I did it more like how TV does it, you know. So it was kind of like, it was jarring to people, and it was still well received, but people didn't understand that, you know, it's done. This is already edited, so I couldn't really go back and redo something, for example. And that's one thing that a lot of people say is I shouldn't read my own comments, but I don't know. I want to engage, and like I said, I don't get too much negative feedback, and when it is negative, it's usually very constructive. So I don't mind that. But if I did something like tried to do it in real time, well, it's like, okay, I might get 2 videos out like in a good succession, and then it could be, well, maybe 6 months. Well, the original people won't follow it through the process and stuff. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how to do it, and I don't really want to do it in a multi-part. And I do want to show some techniques, but I tried doing that a little bit with some of my with a couple of model builds, and I did like a 4-part series. And to be honest, I mean, they got good. I got good feedback on them and got decent views, but you know, I didn't get any real negative feedback. But me personally, I was not real happy with how they turned out in the end. So, and that's the thing. I'm making these videos for me, so I want them. As long as I'm happy with it, I guess at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody else says. But even though those, like I said, got great feedback on them and people loved the project, I didn't love the videos. I love the project, but I didn't love the videos. I didn't love how I did it, and so that's why I'm trying to figure out how to do it better and do it differently. But I'm just having a hard time getting started with it, because like with model building and filming it, it's hard to go back and reshoot something. At least like with a motorcycle restoration, if I start putting stuff together and I'm like, oh wait, you know, I really need to, I should shoot this differently. Well, you know, you can take everything back apart and kind of pretend and start over a little bit so you can get the correct point across. Well, a model build with glue and paint and if you're doing weathering and stuff, you can't really undo that and try again. So it's not that it all has to be shot exactly right the first time. It's like you're a little hamstringed by the constraints of the project. So that's kind of that's kind of what's holding some of those projects back. But I'd like to, because I think they would be some of these kind of, it would be a kind of a wow project, because it's one of these where I'm going to do some very heavy weathering. It's going to have like mud, dirt, grime, dents, rust, custom parts. Like I said, it's going to tell a story. There's going to be some little Easter eggs that are kind of inside jokes to certain people I know in there. Things, and all those little details are gonna take a lot of time, and I just don't know how to incorporate those. But you know, that's why I've been trying to find videos of like model building projects that are in a style that really just draws me in and engages, because a lot of people have made videos of model builds, but it's kind of a lot of them there just showing their hands, and that's what a lot of mine will be, is showing their hands, but just kind of, they're like, oh, and you're just, you know, fumble around, and you know, it's like, well, that gets boring pretty fast, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want myself falling into that trap either. So that's kind of the problem I have going with it there. So you know, I'm kind of running out of steam here, and honestly, I don't know how I'm doing on battery or connection. I'm out in Timbuktu here, so it might be so choppy this thing isn't even worth watching, and I can't even tell if I got any viewers. So I'm going to cut this one down, and I appreciate those who popped in here. I guess I'll leave this public for a little while. I may make it unlisted. I don't know, because I don't know how much value this video like this has after it's done. If you were one of the ones in here that was watching it, great. Thank you very much. Like I said, this channel would be nothing without you guys. So thanks for watching. Immediately get those notifications. You know, it helps the videos get out there. So, and watch my videos to the end. The watch time's a big deal these days. And watch other people's videos to the end, because it helps them out too, not just me. So, I'm gonna cut this short here, and I appreciate you guys all watching, whoever got in here. So, thank you very much.